स्टडी अबाउट द थेवेनिन थ्योरम. ओके, इसके जो स्टेप्स मैं बताऊंगी सेम स्टेप्स यू हैव टू डू. करेक्ट. सो इन दिस केस स्टेप नंबर 1, that is find out the value of load resistance. What is basically a load resistance? Suppose they have given the circuit like this. I am taking a simple example. Suppose it would be 4 ohm, 6 ohm, 8 ohm, 10 ohm and 100 volt, and they ask you to calculate current in 10 ohm. Okay, so RL is how much? 10 ohm. So in whichever branch they are asking you to calculate the current, that one is the load resistance. Got it? If they ask you to calculate the current in 6 ohm, then 6 ohm would be the load resistance. Now in this case they are asking you to calculate the current in 10 ohm, so 10 ohm would be the load resistance. This is your step number 1. Now step number 2 is to, whatever we are having the load resistance, we have to open circuit it. Okay, open circuit RL. Open circuit RL means open circuit load resistance, right? So we have to redraw the diagram again, same diagram. In this we need to remove RL, rest of the diagram would be same. Got it? Like this is suppose 100 volt, 4 ohm, 6 ohm, 8 ohm, and we remove the RL. Correct? Now step number 3, we need to calculate Thevenin voltage. Okay, but we need to calculate Thevenin voltage, and Thevenin voltage is denoted by VTH. That would be equal to always VAB. Like suppose this was the load resistance, and we'll always mark A and B terminal across the load resistance. Okay. So now as you can see ki you are standing at A and you need to move towards B. Can you move from A to B directly? Yes or no? No, because it's an open circuit. Okay, so what you can do, you can move from, you are standing at A. Just imagine A is your home and B is your college. You are at home and you now you want to move towards college. So now you will move from A to C, C to D, D to B. Correct? Or you can choose the longest path also. But if shortest path is available, then why would you choose the long path, right? One thing, in which case you need to choose the longest path if there is a current source available in your path. Then as in the mesh analysis, you won't go through the path where current source is present. So in that case you have to take the long path. Clear? Now in this case VAB is how much? You are moving from A to C, then C to D, then D to B. Correct? So now according to Ohm's law, can you tell me what is the formula for the VAC? VAC is what? Ohm's law के according IAC into RAC, right? Ohm's law is what? V is equal to IR. So VCD is how much? ICD into RCD. Similarly, tell me what we can write it down for VDB. VDB is what? IDB into RDB. Tell me, any doubt up to here? Is there any current flowing across AC branch? Yes or no? It's an open circuit. So, in an open circuit, current will flow? Yes or no? No. So, it would be ultimately 0. Correct? Now, ICD we don't know. RCD is how much? That is 6 ohm. Correct? Similarly, IDB is also 0 only. Correct? IDB is also 0 because it's also an open circuit. Now if we will be able to get the value for ICD, then we'll be able to know the value for VAB. Yes or no? अगर हमें ICD की वैल्यू पता लग जाए तो हमारी VAB की वैल्यू आ जाएगी. Okay, now how will we get ICD? To find current, as you know, we generally use mesh analysis, correct? Okay, now calculate it. ICD की value we got it as 10 ampere, then we can put it here, then it would be 10 into 6, that would be equal to 60 volt. So finally we got the Thevenin voltage, that is denoted by VTH, and VAB, that would be equal to 60 volt. Okay, now after this we need to move towards step number 3. Okay, sorry, step number 4. Step number 4 is we need to calculate Thevenin resistance, right? Thevenin resistance is always denoted by RTH, and to solve it we have to follow certain steps. That voltage source must be short circuit. Okay, like voltage source is like this or like this, then it has to be short circuit. Short circuit means removing the voltage source and place a plain wire across it. And if there is a current source, then in that case it would be open circuit. Okay, so for current source it would be open circuit always. Okay, now back to the diagram. Step number 4, we are having only one voltage source, that is 100 volt. So we have to redraw the diagram again. See, हर एक स्टेप पे you have to redraw. VTH निकालना है, draw the diagram. RTH निकालना है, again draw the diagram. Okay, so voltage source must be short circuit, right? And in this case the rest of the diagram would be same, 4 6 8. Now just imagine you are standing at A, you need to move towards B. Okay, so just imagine कि 4 ohm, 6 ohm and 8 ohm, these are your friends. ठीक है, and if two of your friends are at the same path, that means they are in series, and if two of your friends are at the different path, that means they are in parallel. ठीक है, so now you will start from the friend which is very far away from you, 4 ohm. तो 4 ohm का हाउस एंड 6 ohm का हाउस एक ही रास्ते पे आ रहा है या अलग रास्ते पे आ रहा है? यू आर मूविंग फ्रॉम ए. ओके, तुम दोनों से मिल सकती हो. कैन यू मीट बोथ ऑफ देम एट अ सिंगल टाइम, और you need to, or you have to choose one, that either you can meet 4 ohm or you can meet 6 ohm, right? So tell me, किससे मिल सकती हो? दोनों से या एक से? एक से. That means they both are connected in parallel. Whether whenever you have to choose कि इससे या इससे, then that means they are connected in parallel. So 4 parallel 6 is in parallel, and 8 ohm. So RTH is how much? Now these two resistance, they are at the same path or at the different path? Tell me. Now they are at the same path. So what we can say for RTH? That is 4 parallel 6. 4 into 6 divided by 4 plus 6 plus 8, right? So it would be 24 divided by 10 is 2.4 plus 8, that would be 10.4 ohm. So now we got the value for RTH also, that is 10.4. Now after this last and final step, what they are asking, calculate. They didn't ask you to calculate VTH, they didn't ask you to calculate RTH, but they ask you to calculate the current. So last in the final step we need to calculate current. What we have calculated? VTH, right? And what we have calculated? RTH. Put VTH and RTH both in series. Got it? So this would be A, B. Yeah. Then we need to apply Ohm's law. So according to Ohm's law, I is equal to V by R. V is how much here? VTH. R is how much here? RTH and RL. Okay. So now you already calculated the value for VTH, that is 60 volt, and you already calculated the value for RTH, that is 10.4. So 10.4 plus RL. RL is how much? That we have removed in the first step, 10 ohm. We just need to put down the values, then we'll get the final answer. So you have to remember the steps. ठीक है? अब steps याद करने को I'll tell you the method. मान लो ये तुम्हारा घर है, that is and इस घर में तुम कौन हो? 10 ohm. Clear? अब तुम्हें तुम्हारे सेकंड स्टेप में क्या करा? तुम्हें तुम्हारे घर वालों ने घर से बाहर निकाल दिया. तुम्हारी बहुत बैक आ रही थी, मणिपाल में हो ना, तो बहुत बैक आ रही थी. में भी आई, बी में भी आई, एंड ईसीए में नहीं आएगी. आई एम टीचिंग यू ना, तो ईसीए में नहीं आएगी. तो योर पेरेंट्स रिमूव्ड यू. ठीक है, स्टेप नंबर 2 में. नाउ स्टेप नंबर 3 में योर मॉम स्टार्टेड कैलकुलेटिंग पोटेंशियल इन यू. वोल्टेज का मतलब क्या होता है? Potential. Like, yeah, my daughter is not so much bad, she has this potential, she has this potential. Mother is like this ना, कि मम्मा ऐसी होती है ना कि अच्छाइयाँ देखती है. तो she calculated. After this, step number 4, your dad starting calculating resistance in you. Resistance मतलब कमियाँ निकाल रहे हैं. ठीक है, मम्मी ने अच्छाई निकाली पोटेंशियल वोल्टेज, पापा ने कमियाँ निकाली रेजिस्टेंस. गॉट इट? देन फाइनली व्हाट दे हैव डिसाइडेड, तुम्हारी मम्मी ने जो पोटेंशियल निकाला वो रखा, तुम्हारे पापा ने जो रेजिस्टेंस निकाला वो रखा, एंड व्हाट दे हैव डिसाइडेड टू ब्रिंग यू बैक टू द होम. ए और बी पॉइंट से निकाला था, ए और बी पे ही वापस बुला लिया. क्लियर? नाउ दिस वन ये कैसे याद रखना है? वोल्टेज सोर्स, जस्ट इमेजिन कि तुम्हारा कोई रिलेटिव है. ठीक है, वोल्टेज सोर्स कौन है? तुम्हारा कोई रिलेटिव जो तुम्हें बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं है. अब तुम देख रही हो कि वो आ रहा है घर पे, तो तुम उसके लिए क्या करोगी? दरवाजे बंद करोगी खोलोगी? बंद करोगी खोलोगी? बंद करोगी, क्योंकि तुम्हें वो पसंद नहीं है. यू डोंट लाइक हिम. ठीक है, और करंट सोर्स तुम्हारी फ्रेंड है, फ्रेंड आ रही है तुम्हारे घर पे, तो क्या करोगे? उसके लिए दरवाजा बंद करोगी खोलोगी? बेस्ट फ्रेंड खोल दोगे, ओपन सर्किट. ओके, क्लियर? So this would be the easiest way. See, in this have to calculate current in 2. Okay, so 2 ohm would be open circuit, right? Next, mark always A and, right? Step number 1 done. Step done. Step number 3, we need to calculate pH, right? That would be equal to KB. Now you are standing at A and you need words, correct? But we can write down VAC CD plus VDB, right? अब अगर if करंट सोर्स यहाँ पे होता डीबी वाले रास्ते में, तो तुम यहाँ से नहीं जाती, तुम के जाती. ठीक है, can't go through the path where current source is present. You have to choose the alternate path in that case. Now according to C is IAC to RAC, RAC is CD is ICD into RCD. There is no resistance, so ultimately there will be no voltage drop across. Now VD how much? IDB, RDB, correct? RDB, that is 8 ohm. Now you need to get the value for IAC and IDB. Tell me the values. So in this case minus 4 IC minus 6, तो यहाँ से करंट की वैल्यू IAC equal to 1, right? And in this case IDB would be equal to minus, correct? Then substitute to, then solve it, then you your answer. Correct? Now next step is to calculate the RTH. As I told you, for RTH, what we need to make voltage source short circuit and current open, right? A, 4 and 6, they both are connected parallel. Can't move same time. 4 parallel 6. Then after that 8 would be series, right? So what was the answer? RTH is 4 into 6.4 plus 8. Again it would be 10 point. So you got the VTH and you got the RTH. You just correct. So one question work. Okay. If you will be able to do this question, able to do all the questions. Thevenin try करना ये वाला 9. Okay, and you have to calculate current 10 ohm by Thevenin. Got it?